The Galactic Council had very specific regulations about humans and their teaching methods. Regulation 47B stated clearly, human educators must be supervised at all times when instructing non-human juveniles, particularly when demonstrating chemical reactions, structural engineering, or any activity involving fire explosions, or really cool stuff. Risa had signed the waiver. She'd attended the 3-day seminar. She'd even sat through Commander Zeltik's 2-hour presentation on why humans should not be allowed near children of other species without extreme oversight. And yet, here she stood in the observation dome of Station Kepler 442, surrounded by 17 juvenile Vryn, the galaxy's most risk-averse species, about to do exactly what the regulations warned against. All right. Everyone, Risa announced, adjusting her own safety goggles. Who remembers what we learned about exothermic reactions? 17 small furry hands shot into the air. The Vryn cubs were adorable. Standing roughly 3 feet tall, covered in soft silver fur with enormous black eyes that seemed to absorb everything. Their natural caution made them excellent students, though their parents had nearly fainted when they learned a human would be teaching basic chemistry. Tivan, the smallest of the group, pressed closer to the demonstration table. His goggles, comically oversized for his small face, kept sliding down his snout. "The boom stuff!" he chirped excitedly. "Energy releases fast." "Close enough," Risa grinned. She'd been teaching at the station for 6 months now, and Tivan had become her most enthusiastic student. While other Vryn cubs approached her experiments with careful reverence, Tivan displayed something the galaxy rarely saw in his species: genuine excitement about danger. His parents were horrified. Risa picked up the first beaker, its contents glowing faintly blue. "This is hydrogen peroxide, concentrated. And this," she lifted a second container, "is potassium iodide mixed with dish soap. Separately, they're harmless. But together..." The cubs leaned forward as one, their collective breath held. "Together, they create what we call elephant toothpaste." "Do humans have elephants on the station?" A cub named Shara asked nervously. "Are they dangerous?" "Elephants are extinct," Risa explained gently. "But they were large, gentle creatures from Earth. We named this reaction after them because of how big it gets." She positioned the containers carefully. Through the observation window, she could see several adult Vryn watching with palpable anxiety. Among them stood Tivan's mother, Mira, whose fur had turned almost white with stress. "Ready?" Risa asked. "Ready!" The cubs chorused, though Tivan's voice rose above the others. Risa poured. The reaction was instantaneous. Foam erupted from the container in a massive, writhing column of blue-tinted bubbles, expanding upward and outward like a living thing. It filled the demonstration cylinder, overflowed onto the containment tray, and kept growing, reaching nearly 6 feet high before finally slowing. The cubs exploded into squeaks of delight. Tivan bounced on his back legs, his goggles finally sliding completely off his face. "Again, do it again!" Risa laughed. "First, let's talk about what happened. Who can tell me why the foam formed?" Over the next 20 minutes, she guided them through the science. The catalytic decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, the role of the soap in capturing oxygen bubbles, the heat released by the reaction. The cubs asked questions with surprising sophistication, their natural caution transforming into methodical curiosity when given proper context. This was why Risa had fought to teach here. The galaxy saw humans as reckless, dangerous, prone to experimentation and risk-taking, and they weren't wrong. But what they missed was the why behind human behavior, the insatiable need to understand, to test boundaries, to discover what lay beyond the safe and known, and that, Risa believed, was exactly what the galaxy needed. After class, as the cubs filed out clutching their data tablets, Tivan lingered behind. His mother, Mira, stood in the doorway, her posture radiating disapproval. "Miss Risa," Tivan said quietly, his voice losing its usual exuberance. "My mother says, she says humans are dangerous teachers, that you make us want to try unsafe things." Risa knelt down to his eye level. "What do you think?" Tivan's ears twitched, a Vryn gesture indicating deep thought. I think you teach us that dangerous things can be safe if you understand them. That knowing why something works makes it less scary." "That's very wise, Tivan, but Mother says our species survived by being careful, that we should avoid risks, not learn about them." Risa glanced at Mira, whose dark eyes met hers with a mixture of fear and something else, perhaps grudging curiosity. Your mother isn't wrong, Risa said carefully. The Vryn have built an incredible civilization by being cautious. But caution and understanding aren't opposites. In fact, the more you understand, the better you can judge what's truly dangerous and what just seems dangerous. From the doorway, Mira spoke, her voice soft but firm. The Council says humans teach recklessness. The Council is terrified of change, Risa replied, standing. Respectfully, Administrator, I'm not teaching recklessness. I'm teaching calculated risk. There's a difference, is there? Mira stepped closer. My son now asks me about combustion engines, about explosive decompression, about whether our shields could withstand a supernova. These are not thoughts cubs should have. These are exactly the thoughts that create the next generation of engineers, scientists, explorers. Risa gestured at the demonstration equipment. You know why humans dominated chemical science for centuries? Because we weren't afraid to mix things and see what happened. Yes, it was dangerous. Yes, we made mistakes. But we also discovered medicines, materials, and energy sources that changed everything. At what cost? At the cost of some scars and a lot of learning. Risa smiled. Your son is brilliant, Administrator. He has a gift for understanding complex systems. You can suppress that curiosity and keep him safe, or you can help him channel it and watch him become something extraordinary. Mira was silent for a long moment. Tivin looked between the two adults, his small hands clutching his data tablet. Finally, Mira's fur rippled, a sign of acceptance. One more semester, she said quietly. But if I see even a hint of genuine danger, you have my word, Risa said. Supervised, safe, educational danger only. The faintest hint of a smile touched Mira's expression. Humans, she muttered. You even make safety sound dangerous. As they left, Tivin turned back, his eyes bright. Next week, are we doing the thing with the fire? The thermite demonstration? Risa grinned. Absolutely, yes. Tivin's excitement echoed through the corridor. Mira's despairing sigh echoed louder. Alone in the lab, Risa began cleaning up, her mind already planning next week's lesson. The galaxy feared human teachers, human methods, human curiosity, but fear and respect were often two sides of the same coin. One cub at a time, she'd show them the difference. One controlled explosion at a time,